how did you end up going from diversity to networking? Because I understand your journey through the NHS and in the medical profession was the result of really clever networking?
Yeah, so I specialised before I left the health service in working with black nurses who wanted to go up the career ladder and sort of mentoring them and supporting them and coaching them to do that. And the question I was asked is that how did I get into my position? And having sort of like really thought about that, what was the process? And it was through networking. So I did a course, which was a management course, a management leadership course, and they encouraged me to find a mentor, and that mentor really supported me to get other roles and to try different things. And those different things were like sort of telling people what sort of job I wanted, what sort of area I wanted to be in, to role model best practice and to do that. But to do that, you have to find the people, find like-minded people and people who are willing to help you, and then to be part of that community. And that has helped me to get it helped me in the NHS, and it's helped me in my new sort of, I moved on to being a business owner, and it's helped me in that because I looked at my networks and then asked people that I knew had expertise in that sort of area. You know, what are you looking for? You know, what are the best things to do? And then develop mentor relationships with them, and then those opportunities then come through. I am trying to, through my, I'm writing a book around networking, and sort of I'm trying to sort of standardise the process around it, because I wouldn't say I do it quite naturally, but there is a method to do that. So that's what that's about.
So how important do you think networking is in helping to break down some of those barriers so that at all levels of organisations we're seeing that diversity?
So I think that networking can work both ways. I think there's research that shows that to have a diverse organisation means you have a more effective and productive and financially a viable organisation. That's really, really important. So it's really important to have a diverse workforce, which is something I'm really interested in. And, you know, you're right, you know, the people at the top of an organisation look very similar in how they and you know that, and you know, you're more likely in the NHS to be successful if you're male and if you're white. So you know, there's things to be learned, and I've had mentors who are white men as well as mentors who are white women, but I've also had mentors who have got to the position that I wanted to get to. So you know, that's what I would recommend, that people find someone who is doing what they want to do. So I did that both in my career as a nurse and also in my business. I work with, I've got a mentor who's got a diversity and inclusion business, and I literally watched her speak. Her name's Carmen Morris, and I sort of said, you know, I want to really get into that. It's not my area of expertise, but that's what I want to do. And I offered to pay her, but she very kindly mentored me. So, you know, and that's been really, really helpful when we're doing some joint projects now. So that's how networking works for me.
And when you touched on it a little bit, when you're thinking of your network, do we need to create diversity in our individual networks? Because you said like you've had a variety of different faces, backgrounds, experiences who've mentored you and allowed you to be able to create those connections. Are there some kind of key categories we should be looking at when it comes to building our networks to be able to reach our goals?
Yeah, definitely. I think first of all, you should look at who's in your personal network, your family, your friends, your colleagues, people that are your bosses or people you would like to be your bosses. And sometimes, and then it's around mapping it and seeing what's missing, what are the gaps. And then, you know, there may be some different people that you don't know, and then you need to find a way, sort of like what's the key to the door, you know, then you need to find, you know, how can you help those people, because I think sort of mentorship and sort of networking, it's a reciprocal arrangement. You get something, so the mentor gets something as well as the mentee, and I think that's the way to look at it. So if a white male gets approached by me, he's going to get just as much from me as I'm going to get from them, and that's the way to see it. There's lots of, in the NHS, there's lots of standards around workforce race equality and, you know, diversity, and it's a way to make it work. And so you can say, you know, this will benefit the organisation. I work with organisations who have diversity standards and targets, and sort of like mentoring someone, networking with someone. There's a thing called reverse mentoring where a executive will work with a chef. And, you know, I've worked with organisations that they do a reciprocal arrangement. It needs support, and, you know, I've spoken to networking groups around, you know, how can I be a mentor? Because I think you have to develop your own, you know, to be a good mentor, there's a skill to it and there's things that you need to learn, but and also to be a mentee, you have to be, it's a bit like coaching, you have to be coachable. So you have to, I don't think there's a verb for mentorable, but, you know, that, you know, maybe I've invented it, yeah. So, you know, that you have to, you know, what do you want to get out of it? What is your long-term goal? And, you know, I think there's nothing more, the greatest gift is you can give someone is your attention. And so, and also people, you know, when people have asked me to mentor them, I've been sort of very flattered around that. So, you know, and that sort of like increases your network. So as you go on, so when I started as a business owner, I was looking for consultancy work. I asked to speak to one of my old mentors from 15 years ago, one of the original mentors that someone suggested I get. And she's still a chief exec of an organisation, and said, you know, I'm looking to get diversity and inclusion work. What would you be looking for in with regards to diversity and inclusion? And then